blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry, one artist at a time.
What's up, my wonderful, wonderful human beings? Welcome back to Say Less Show with Comeiko. So, as always, I'm never really prepared. I'm prepared, but I'm not prepared. It's like you prepare, but you want to be really prepared, but then you're not that really perfect prepared, but you just got enough type of thing. This day flew by. I don't know how anybody else feels about that, but today flew by. I woke up, looked around, and now it's 6 in Texas here. So like that's the evening, and like the day is pretty much over. So yeah, today, well, let's just say this once again. Welcome back. If you been here before, if this is your first time, to the Say Less podcast show with Comeiko. It's never easy sitting here talking to yourself. I know that I've had a couple of guests scheduled, times conflict. And I'm more of a social person. So I really like to engage with other people when I am on here. Because I can tell you, doing a podcast by yourself, you feel a little remedial. Okay. Because you ain't got no feedback, but it is what it is. So last week's show was amazing. It was with the intuitive Myra, the amazing spiritual life coach. I don't know if you watched that show, but if you didn't, you need to go back and watch it. A lot of questions I'm sure that most people have when it comes to spiritual life coaches will be answered in that show. I had my follow-up reading with her on this past Sunday. That baby knows she'd be up in my business. Okay? She'd be in it. But it was so good and so what's the word? It's the word I want to use. It was very heartfelt. Helped me to make a lot of important decisions. I ain't confirmed. Like how she knew, I don't know, but that's what it don't matter. Okay. She shared it with me. And now I know how to act accordingly. All right. So we are going to start off as always with a positive quote today. Every day should be positive. Every day we should be waking up first, thanking God that we are allowed another day above ground. Okay. We should be thanking God for a roof over our head, transportation, food. I made some spaghetti on Sunday. I'm still eating spaghetti. But I'm grateful for it. All right. And I ain't gonna lie. I put my foot in it. I'm my biggest critic, but that spaghetti in there, I don't know what I was going through, but I did that. You know what I mean? So the quotes for today, for yesterday, for tomorrow, the rest of the week, for forever. Like this is something that you just keep within you. Failure is a bruise. It is not a tattoo. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Failure is a bruise. It's not a tattoo. A good life has bad days too. So, hey, we all fail. It takes a minute to get accustomed to failure. Um, Especially when you're an entrepreneur. You know how many, like, I've had 3 first time homebuyer seminars, and literally all 3, there has probably been at the most attendees, maybe 5. Um, and you would think that I would say, I'm not having another one, I'm just going to give up, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Because it's just a bruise. Bruises heal. Tattoos are permanent. Failure is not permanent. It is something that you heal from, and you keep it moving. And know that in life, we are going to have bad days. You got to accept it. You got to accept it. Let it be. Deal with that bad day. Sit in it and get your ass up out of it the next day. Okay. Okay. So my choice of beverage, not today. I only drink spirits socially now. I don't know what it is about getting older. You just don't have a desire to drink like that anymore. Everybody knows the kitchen, Bear Creek liquor store, whoever liquor stores around here ain't got nothing on our kitchen in there. And I don't touch none of that stuff unless company comes over or whatever like that. So I've been drinking communion, but it's just so much sugar, and I really got to get to losing some of this fat. So my choice of beverage today is Sprite Plus. Let me tell y'all something. I don't like tea. I don't know, probably didn't, because this is my Say Less Facebook page, YouTube, not on my personal page, but Buzzball has a new lemon tea, right? Buzzball. And I tried it. I don't do tea. And I tried it, and it was freaking amazing. And I was like, wow, this is good. It's very well balanced. Buzzball has that kick. So about around the 5th sip, I was feeling sippy nice. Okay. But this here, y'all, I am so shocked. It is so yummy. And you know what I thought of as I was telling you all this? I am going to mix this with a lemon tea Buzzball. That's a lot of sugar. But anyway, this is my choice, y'all. I got it in a wine glass, okay? So yes. So our topic today is real estate. So coming to you from your realtor and sneakers, not Miko. We have, us Geminis have different people. It's not just 2 of us, it's a bunch of us, okay? So today you're talking to your realtor and sneakers. For those that are here in the Dallas DFW area, do know I do have a back to school sneaker drive at 3 locations. Century 21 Judge Fight Waxahachie office, Century 21 Judge Fight Ennis office, and then there's a box at Cooper's Bar and Grill in Arlington, Texas, that if you have any new or lightly worn tennis shoes from the ages of hey, Breezy! From the ages of 5 and 18, drop them off in the box. I have a short little commercial advertisement coming out to explain more about it. But if you are here in the Dallas DFW area, let's bless these babies. Because I remember when I stood in church lines, honey, to get free shoes and cheese and milk and peanut butter. We stood in line for it all, especially them kangaroos. You couldn't tell me nothing about my kangaroos. Them was Converse in my eyes. Them was Converse. Kangaroos had that little, Converse ain't had that little pocket on the side. Kangaroos had that little pocket on the side. You know what I'm saying? Put your little candy in your annihilators or your whatever you had in there. But we're going to talk about real estate today. It's so many areas. It's one main area that I want to focus on, and that's that area is, I guess you would say, understanding us. so many ways this can go. Understanding what we do. I know that there's people out there who feel like, agents, real estate agent, realtor, is sometimes a difference. I'm a realtor. I pay that NAR fee to be a realtor. We just have a little higher standards that we operate by because we want to be almost a perfectionist when we're dealing with our clients and show them stellar service, right? So we pay for that. But a lot of people feel like we don't do anything, or we don't do much, or we don't do enough to receive the compensation that we desire or suggest for whatever matter. And I won't get too deep into that just because of the past lawsuit. Okay. But I just want to explain. I know that there's different people. There's different people who have different work ethics. Me and BP was just talking about that, about how they do things. I know there's complaints out there about how, I hear it all the time. I actually just dealt with a listing agent that is, like, no call back, don't reply back to my text messages, whatever the case may be, to the point that I literally had to send the broker's rep agreement with a certain percentage that was 5, 6, 7, 8 times more than the compensation. And guess, lo and behold, got her attention then. And now you want to reply saying, oh no, well, if you had just replied last week to give me that amount, I could have put that correct amount in the field where it's required and could have had you sign that and had everything all closed and done. You see what I'm saying? So that even as agents on agents or realtors on realtors, it's annoying to reach out to someone and you get no response, or you hear from them days later, or it's a lot. It's frustrating. So I just said that I was going to share some of the things, and this is geared towards sellers and buyers. Some of the things that we do. You have to remember that we are entrepreneurs. We are 1099. So there's no check every week or bi-weekly or monthly. If we're not making any transactions, we're not eating. Okay. And any and everything that we have to do before we are compensated, it's coming out of our pockets. And that's just all around the clock. So I'll explain. Well, for one, let me just get this out there, because I did say that I was going to give you like the stats right now, what's going on. So I just was talking to someone earlier and everything. I'm just waiting on the market to, shift, and it's not. Y'all stop waiting on the market to do this and do that. Stop waiting on these interest rates and what they're going to do. Do y'all see how crazy the upper mansion, upper room, you might as well say, is right now? Do you see how it fluctuates, how inconsistent it is? You can't be waiting on no interest rates or this, and that, but any changes, because once again, y'all, I'm in this window. What was her name on 227? Y'all call me that, because I'm being nosy as all I do. Trying to see who pulled up. That Terry House. Anyway. Oh, that's her friend. So as I was saying, my bad. So yeah, you gotta stop. If you're gonna buy. If you're gonna sell. To be honest with you guys, believe it or not, the market is great. The market, it was over the past couple of months, has been more of a balanced market. Nope. It's been more of a balanced market, but it's kind of shifting more into a buyer's market right now, which makes sense for this time of the year, because a lot of people relocate, A lot of people make the big moves like moving or selling or buying while the children are out for the summer. So this is typically a buyer's market around this time. So again, real estate is great. I'll say this, and I typically do send out the stats for the Dallas DFW area. When you're looking at the news and stuff like that, guys, that's nationwide. They're giving you statistics from all over. That's not the statistics within the DFW Metroplex area. And I have stats for every city in the Dallas area, surrounding areas, rural areas. I have all those stats. So don't always believe what the little newsy people be telling you, because sometimes they just be talking because they need a spot, a placement, because they ain't got nothing else to talk about. Okay. But if you really want to know truly what's going on in the Dallas market, call me. I'll send it to you, email it to you. You could check it out. But right now, like I say, it's shifting from a balanced market to a buyer's market right now. So, which is increasing inventory, right? The inventory is slightly increasing right now. And the houses are like, I think I checked on Sunday, a lot of the houses are selling below listing price, which again, gears towards the buyer's market. So that's that. Interest rates right now are still under 7%. Those are not, it's not moving much, people. That's why I say if you're going to buy, okay, you won't see the very low flat, the 5s or the 4s or the 3s or the 2s. It's one of the reasons why we won't refinance. I got so much escrow in this house. You know how much stuff I could do to this house. But if you think I'm about to lose my 3.1, it could just sit. I ain't doing it. But that's that. So it's around a 6.7 interest rate right now for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage loan. And then it's probably around the mid 5s for a 15-year fixed rate mortgage loan right now. Of course, the 15-year, your payments will be very much higher monthly, but you would pay it off quicker. Of course, your 30-year, your payments would be a little bit lower, but then you'll end up paying a little bit more interest because of the span of the loan. You know what I mean? So that's that for the market. So let's get into what we do, because I need you to understand. There's some people that just don't have the respect that I feel like we deserve. Because for me as a realtor, I 1000% care about my clients. There's nothing more important than having a roof over your head, especially coming from someone who's been homeless before, lived in her trunk. Okay. So I take it very seriously when I'm working with my clients. So I am a communicator by nature. I know everybody's not, but by nature, I'm a communicator. So there'll never be a time that I don't communicate. I don't call you back. If I can't talk to you at that time, I'm going to shoot a quick text to you and say, hey, can you give me 15, 20 minutes? I'm doing a prime example. Right when the podcast started, I had a prospective buyer text me, and I quickly said, hey, I'm getting ready to start a meeting. I'll hit you back, around 7:30ish, if that's okay, or you can call me or we can talk first thing in the morning. Communication is everything, guys. Like, and I get that I've heard horror stories about people having agents that, didn't communicate, wouldn't call back, all of that nature. And I think it's just absolutely horrible, and it puts a bad name on all of us, and that's just not fair. Okay. I answer my phone. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't answer. I'm just going to go ahead and be transparent because I don't know no other way. But I don't answer all my calls because spam spam. They done got tricky and they be calling me from 619 numbers. You see what I'm saying? Now I had my 619 number since I moved here to Texas in 2013. Why I kept it, I don't know. I maybe it's to make me feel a little closer to home. I don't know. More Cali, I don't know, but I still have my 619. So any and everybody that, for one of my family, I'm from LA. Most of my family's in LA. But if somebody calls me from 619, they're stored in my phone. So I ain't gonna lie, I don't be answering all my calls like that. I'm gonna be truthful. However, I know that it's very important. When we're working with, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not speaking for everybody else. When I'm working with a client, what you ask of me, I'm gonna do. But then when I ask something of you, I need you to do it. You understand? I need you to do it. Because just as much as you take it serious, I'm taking it serious. So if I ask you for certain information or documents, do your best to get it to me. If I'm trying to assist you and I'm sending you properties, I'm sending you homes and things of that nature, check your email. It's only so much that I can do. So, I get that a lot. I'm like, did you check your email? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, well, everything that you need is in that email. It's not much that I can do until you get into that email, check out what I sent you, and then we can move forward from there. We're not magicians. We're balancing, work-life balance, which can be easy and hard for the most part. What's something else that when you come to us, come sure and ready. Like, I don't have a problem. I've worked with a lot of people who just want to inquire. Just sent someone through my lender just to see where they are. I always recommend that. Like, we always think that we just know our credit, and we don't, because the lender sees something totally different. You can pull your Equifax, your Experian, and your TransUnion. You can pull Credit Karma, whoever. The lender sees something totally different, a whole different lending credit check system. Okay, so you can sit here all day long and say, because I got a 720. And when that lender go and run, do that soft check, to them, you got a 680. It's their method. It's what they use. So I always recommend, when people feel like they don't know where they are, my lender is amazing. I have a few lenders, but my main one, she's amazing, and she's going to tell you what you need to do and where you need to be and how long it'll take you. And once you do those things, it is a guarantee that when you come back in 4 or 5, 6 months, depending on your situation, you're going to automatically be approved. You've done everything. You've satisfied their criteria, their requirements. You've satisfied that. So you got to up on it. A lot of us think that we can fix our own credit, which you can, because I did for me, but I was able to fix my credit before we purchased this home because I used to repair credit. So I knew what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do. So it's best that it doesn't hurt to get with a lender, see where you are, see where you stand. It's a soft pull, and see where you at. And that way you can say, okay, well, you know what? I got to work on this and this. And by November of this year, once that's cleared off, I can go back to this lender and get my pre-approval letter, and I'm going to call your realtor and sneakers, and we going house shopping, because that's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go. You call me and you tell me you got that pre-approval letter, we hitting the ground running. We is house hunting. Did you hear me? So that's one of the things that I always say. And then, like I say, keep in touch. If you ever have any questions, you're more than welcome to call me. Feel free. But I'm going to, so this is through NAR, National Association of Realtors. And I put this in my listing packets for listings, right? To show my sellers some of the things that we do. 179. This is not even all that we do, but there's 179 things and ways that we operate. While people think that we just go and show a house and that's all that we do, because that's not all that we do. It is so much that we do. I sat in the office today uploading paperwork from a lease that I closed on. It's a lot. It's a lot. So whenever if I'm at a listing appointment, getting ready to list a home, there's activities that you do even before you get to the client's home or wherever you're going to meet them, Starbucks, wherever it is. But typically it's the client's home, because we're going to take a look around the property, tour it, see what's what, so that we can sit down, think of pricing, whatever. So some of the things that we do before we get to the listing appointment is we research all the comparable currently listed properties, or CMA. We want to do a comparative market analysis just to make sure that once my seller tells me their desired listing price, I can make sure that that's reasonable with the market, the surrounding area, right? You always want to list accordingly, right? We have to research and verify legal description. We research property's current use and zoning. We download and review property tax. We research average days on market for the property. That's a big thing right now, because right now, days on market is as much as 60 days right now. It's a little high. It's not your typical market for whatever reason. They're a little up there. But right now, the average days on market is 60 days. So we're doing all this. We're obtaining copies of the subdivision plat. We're researching the property owner's deed and type. We're gathering all this information. And just for the pre-listing activities, it's like 22 things that we have to do to prepare to go into this listing appointment, right? Before we even get with the seller. Lots of research. And once we so my listing presentation is pretty thorough, but I kind of break it down a little bit. But for this, it's probably like, I just pulled this, and because I would never remember all this stuff, because it just kind of comes naturally when you're doing it. But it's 86 things that we're doing within that listing appointment, and even after, once we sign and agree, and the seller's agreement or whatever like that. So we give the seller the overview market conditions and projections. We're offering pricing strategies. We're discussing goals about the market effectively with the seller. We explain what we do behind the scenes as far as now I have boundaries. I do. I'm very you can call me, you can do whatever, but I do set boundaries because, again, that's that work-life balance. We might be entrepreneurs or whatever, but we still have a personal life. And I know that if I don't get some type of karaoke, in my system throughout the week, then we're going to have a problem. So there's that work-life balance, right? So I do have boundaries. I don't typically speak or talk real estate after 9 p.m. I'm pretty open on the weekends up until, 5-ish or something like that. Sundays, I'm pretty much open. But again, don't call me at no 1 a.m. Okay? Yeah, don't write it down. If it comes to your mind, you write it down, and then you call me the next day or text it to me, and we're going to jump right on it. I promise. But 1 a.m., Comeiko's not going to answer her phone at all. Okay. So, go over marketing strategies, review and explain all clauses and listing contracts and addendums, obtain the seller's signature property under the listing agreement. Guys, it's so much that we do. We do the listing agreement. We talk about utility companies. We confirm the status and depth of the output of the well report. We have to make sure we got a lockbox and make extra keys for the lock boxes and to put on your door once you decide to go move forward and sell your home. I mean, it's so many things that we do. We arrange printing and copying of marketing material. Don't do a lot of mailers for me. I'm more of a social media person. So again, that's time consuming because I am listing your property. Well, fortunately, I'm affiliated with Move2. So my listings would go and Move2 where it has a broader audience because it's worldwide. So it could be somebody sitting in China that want to move to Texas, and the houses are available for view on Move2. So that's something that a lot of agents don't utilize, but I'm blessed and fortunate to be able to be an affiliate of that to get more exposure for my seller. But we go over the home warranty application and for the buyer, and it's just so much. And then we put the yard signs in the yard, and then we got to enter the property data into MLS. And let me tell you, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you when we come back. I'm gonna let VP go ahead and introduce the artist of the week because that paperwork is something else.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we're doing improvements. You're actually, by yourself, and here we are halfway point. So congratulations.
I get passionate about it.
No, I see that. Real estate is definitely your jam, so I get it. All right, y'all. So listen, we had a great event this weekend, and this artist actually was nice enough. He drove 3 hours from Virginia to North Carolina, and I told him to just come, and he still got on stage and performed. This is my man Hakeem Romance, and this song is called Elevated, excuse me. So let's check it out.
Sing on everything.
We gon' get this started. We don't have time to waste. Heard you was killing them in these streets. You done got a case. You causing major traffic. Girl, you a faulty habit. Girl, with that deadly weapon, I'ma handle that with no discretion. See, I like to keep things perky. You like to keep me working. Shout out to Houston, love to the Carolinas, but we gon' keep this Jersey. Nice be late, honest be early. Baby, I'ma keep you in garbage. That's right, you heard me. But I really gotta see if you worth it. Industry really not letting me in. Hey, to Jamaica, fly all of my kin. Jumping out the just lethal with the beam. Creative AF, I won't say it again. Look me directly in my eyes. You better not tell, not one lie. Get in position, we bout to make this a new tradition. I done heard everything you was wishing. Adding to what you listen, girl. Whipping in the kitchen, we bout to mix it. You really bout this life, let's fix it. Don't play with it, baby, let's get it. Let me see you, dear. Show me something real, like going on back there. It's jumping out the gym, oh yeah. Elevated, I'ma let you demonstrate it. Move like you levitated, hella infatuated. Industry really not letting me in. Hey, to Jamaica, fly all of my kin. Jumping out the just lethal with the beam. Creative AF, I won't say it again. Look me directly in my eyes. You better not tell, not one lie. So what are we doing today? You got that thing all in my face. I wanna make a power play. Serious work underlay. This joint be good. I'ma put you through it. Let's get it understood. And it's still your sense, so do it. Let me see you, dear. Show me something real, like going on back there. It's jumping out the gym, oh yeah. Elevated, I'ma let you demonstrate it. Move like you levitated, hella infatuated. Industry really not letting me in. Hey, to Jamaica, fly all of my kin. Jumping out the just lethal with the beam. Creative AF, I won't say it again. Look me directly in my eyes. You better not tell, not one lie.
And that is my man Hakeem Romance with Elevated. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or a up-and-coming comedian that's looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can register at blastmusic247.com. Register as an unlimited fan and have access to hundreds of independent music. blast. We are constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. All right, Miko, back to you.
All right, thanks. All right, that guy is amazing. I'm so sad I couldn't make it. Like, but I'm gonna get up out of that. I was very sad this past weekend because I wasn't there with my blast family. But God says the same. I'll have the opportunity next year. So we left off at once we get the listing about entering into the MLS, the property data. That is so time consuming. I know that's something that clients don't know anything about, but the MLS, the multiple listing services system, is so much detail. I'm talking from the specs of the home that you got to enter to. It's a lot and it takes time. So you have to do that. You have to coordinate showings with the buyer's agents and buyers who want to come and see the property. You're returning all calls because you're getting phone calls from, buyer's agents and buyers that's not represented and people that have questions. Again, I really don't do the mail outs for the just listings for the neighborhood and the neighbors. But you do, typically knock on doors, let them know that, hey, your neighbor's listing their home with me, You're reviewing their curb appeal, assessing that, making sure to provide suggestions to improve the sellability of the home. A lot of people feel like you can just throw your house out there and here you go. But, a real true realtor is going to make sure that your home is as presentable as it can, which leads to sellable. And more appealing to a buyer. So that's a couple of the 1,000 things, that we do. We review the market weekly. You got to stay on top of the market. There's adjustments that happen, rapidly, so then if an adjustment happens and there's a home that's a block away that's so under the listed price, guess what? We got to come back and evaluate your price. It's just a competitive thing. So we have to stay on top of that, pay attention to that. We have to, of course, I check in with my sellers weekly to discuss how they feel. Price changes have to be entered back into that multiple listing services database. It's a lot, and then should somebody want to present an offer, we're receiving the offer, we're checking out the contract, we're comparing it, we're negotiating counter offers, and it's the list just goes on with what we do in front and behind the scenes. Same thing with buyers. We're making sure that our buyers are pre-qualified, and if you're not, what you need to do. Again, I'm just a realtor that actually cares. I want to see my buyers get the best deal possible. I'm not in it for the money. My heart doesn't lie on the money. It doesn't lie on, this house is how much? Oh, this certain commission, this percentage. Oh, that's just not how I operate, because the most important thing is that you have a roof over your head. The most important thing for me is that you achieve your dreams. The most important thing for me is that you own a home. Home ownership is amazing. No matter what they say. Yeah, there's some few things that come with it that don't typically come with the rental property. But it's your home, right? And so that's what matters most to me. I'm in it to help. My heart is in it. And at the end of the day, the importance is to get you in there. And the importance is to get you through the biggest transaction probably ever of your life, unless you buy a Bugatti or something like that. But get you through it smooth, because buying a home, selling a home, it is a lot. I don't sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat. And when you got a great realtor on your side, it's going to be the smoothest thing ever. And that's my goal for sellers and buyers. That is my goal, to make it as smooth as possible, to try to explain everything that is going to transpire, everything that's going to happen, especially for first-time home buyers. It's so important. I know a lot of people heard my story 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1,000 times about what I went through purchasing our first home. My husband was not really involved because he was out there slaving to come up with that closing cost money. And I was on the other. And this is before I was a realtor. As a matter of fact, my story pushed me to go get my license. How about that? That's how bad it was. I've always wanted to be in real estate since 20 something years old, just turned 50, right? Always wanted to do it. Never did. Like every time I got ready to go to Champion, or what was that other school, Kaplan? Every time I got ready to go, my car broke down. My rent was past due. It was just always something. And never got the opportunity to do it up until this year be 3 years. And I just stepped out on faith and said, after this experience, I got to get out here and show people the true, what's the word I want to use? How wonderful it can be to purchase your first home, right? How beautiful it can be. It doesn't have to be a headache. I say that we're here and we're being compensated to deal with the headaches. That's just how I feel about it. So yeah, my story, honey. Chad, I don't wish that on nobody. So that's what said, girl, get up and get your license, and you get out here and you show these people the benefits and the pleasures and purchasing their first home, right? So important. Even listing, but more so your first home. It's a lot of things that I was clueless about. It was never explained to me. Again, if people know my story, we ended up didn't know we had termites. I didn't even know what the hell a termite was. Okay. The inspector guy was her friend. How did you even look in the garage and not even see that? I don't care if I didn't pay for pest control, which again wasn't even offered because I would have paid for it, right? Those are things that just are so important to me. So I would never, ever, ever, my clients will always know from the beginning to the end to the middle, the loops of everything. Everything, there should be nothing. We are educated and knowledgeable and competent enough to be able to answer, I would say 99% of the questions that our clients have. We don't know everything, but if there is something that we don't know, that's when we go to our higher management and the people that we're around. And the beautiful thing about me is that I am with a brokerage that has been around for over 85 years. Baby, when I tell you that there is nothing but straight up and down knowledge around me, it is the most wonderful thing. And that's probably why I'm still there. And that's more than likely why I ain't going nowhere, because I'm big on knowledge and being competent in what I do, because these moves right here in transactions, they too big to mess up, right? They're too big for me to get in a situation where I could possibly lose my license because I wasn't confident about something. And unfortunately, there's a lot of realtors and agents out there that don't really care about that. They just care about the money. I just want to get this money. And that's not it for me. That's not it for me. So again, sellers, buyers, different, but we're dealing with contracts. We're making sure they're correct. We're making sure we got all the signatures. We're making sure that they align. We're dealing with escrow. We're dealing with title. It is a lot that goes with it. We're dealing with inspections. I will be looking at the paper and termite pop up. See, that just be haunting me, but I'm gonna go ahead and let it go because we did get it treated or whatever the case, but that's still though. You know what I'm saying? Because had I had known that in the seller's disclosure, I could have wrote in the seller's disclosure that there were termites and he could have took care of that, right? But no, we find out when we closed, got the key, and have pest control come in and treat the house before we move all our things in. And pest control's like, oh, snap, real loud in the garage. We're like, what? You got termites. So not only did we just go from $4,000, technically originally $4,000 closing costs to $10,000 closing costs in 1 week, we did that to turn around 3 days later to come up with another $1,300 for termite treatment. Do you think that person, because they're not come to find out they weren't an agent, they weren't licensed, but I didn't know that at that time. Do you know that person never returned my call? Never replied back to my email when I said, hey, this is this. I didn't know. Had I had known that I needed to pay for a pest control inspection and just not a general one, I would have paid that extra money. To this day, we've been in this house 5 years, 2021, going on 5 years, I think. We moved in 2021. Still ain't heard from her. How about that? So that is something that I could never. So there's like a million, guys, there's like a million things that comes with the duties that we do. And know that sometimes it's not easy. And again, just, keep in mind that we work for ourselves, and everything that we do and contribute, from gas to marketing, marketing is not cheap. Thank goodness I'm a little techie savvy, because a lot of stuff that y'all be seeing, I sit here and learn that on my own. Because when I did get a quote for someone to take over my marketing for me, they wanted $1,500 a month. You add on another $3,000 and that's the mortgage. So I said, girl, if you don't sit here and learn this stuff yourself, you see what I'm saying? I don't have a patience, but still, we're paying for all these things in software and, again, fuel, and, when we're driving around and looking at properties or marketing the area, we're doing all of this, out of our own expenses, in hopes that, once we do our job, once I do my job, that I would be compensated in the end for it. I don't think anybody ever wants to work for free. And again, I don't think a lot of people know what it takes to get the work done for a client, whether it's a seller or a buyer. It's a lot. We're researching. I'm one of those realtors that if you call me, if I send you, prime example, rental properties have been very popular for whatever reason lately. I call every last listing. I do. Even if the private remarks states that no phone calls, I'm calling, for the simple fact that, yes, this shows active, right? It shows active in the system. It's showing available. A lot of times we get busy, and you can get an approved application and you haven't just yet got into the system to put either pending or closed. So within that time frame, here's another agent that says, a client says, hey, I like such and such 3268912 Belvedere Street. And here I'm searching, I'm going straight to it. Oh, yep, it shows active. Yes. When in actuality, they just approved an application. They just haven't gotten able to get in the system yet to change it to pending or closed. So guess what? Now we go and we have my client apply for it, pay the application fee, because we can all know and say that these application fees are ridiculous. Don't let it be admin fees and everything else. So they're paying that on a property that has already been leased. Can you get that application fee back? Absolutely not. So there's a lot of scammers out there, unfortunately. I cringe every time someone tells me that, oh, I saw something on Zillow. I'm like, yo, tell me what you want, what area, give me everything you desire. I'm going to go into my database. I'm going to break that search down to what you want, and we are going to find something that I have a little bit more faith on than a lot of those home websites out there. Okay. But there is a lot of scamming out there. I did have an incident where drove all the way to Fort Worth for the client to see the home. We got in to see the home. They liked it. They filled the application out. I think the application fee was like $75. Filled the application fee out, and 2 days later, didn't hear anything. Went back into the system just to make sure. The house did not show pending, or that there was a pending lease. It showed sold. They sold the house. How do you list it for rental, for a lease, and then you turn around and you sell it? So those are the things that I really try to avoid. You know, my clients having to go through that. When people are looking for somewhere to keep a roof over their head, their money is precious. And so they need it, and they don't have time to be wasting application fees on things that are just false advertisements. So I do the calling. A lot of people, agents may not do that. I call, and the first thing I say is, my client is interested in such and such and such avenue in Dallas, Texas, and I just want to make sure that the property is still available and it's active and there's no pending applications. That is what I ask, because at least we know we're not wasting our time. And then I schedule a showing, and then we go see the property, and then we move forward, right? Even if they say, oh yeah, we have about 5 applications, depending on my client's situation, because I don't get into my client's finances, and that's a whole nother story, another thing too. A lot of people, I've learned that people that know you don't want to deal with you because they don't want you in their personal business or their finances. And little do you know, we have nothing to do with it. That's all lending. And a lot of lenders do not really disclose facts about the client's financials. But I can see how people think, oh, she's going to know how much I make. She's going to, especially when they're close to you, because they want to be private and secretive. We don't. The most I ask is, where do you think your credit score is? I ask, the typical questions. I'm going to ask those typical questions. Do you make 3 times the rent? We all know that if you don't make 3 times the rent, you ain't renting nowhere here in Dallas, or probably anywhere. They're so big on that. Do you have the first 2 months of the rent? Because they're going to require that, and the deposit, which is going to equal the rent. Those are the questions that I ask. But when it comes down to getting in detail about your finances, that's all the lender, right? That's all the lender. So yes, I ask those questions to the listing agents, and I do call, or I will text and email. Because again, if there's 5 applications out there and I know their criteria and their qualifications and what they're asking for, and my client don't necessarily meet that, I'm gonna tell my client, let's pass on this one and let's go find something else, because the odds of you getting that is odd, if that makes sense. It's odd. So just know that, guys. Just keep in mind, I probably kind of went all over the place with it, but just know that, I guess I can say, have a little compassion, again, because a lot of times, deals don't work out, and then we're stuck out. We're stuck out. We've lost money. We've lost, a lot, sometimes in certain deals, but that's what we signed up for, and that's what it is. But again, if you establish that communication in the very beginning, which is what I do, a lot of times we can avoid that. We can avoid wasting your time, and we can avoid wasting my time. Because my ending goal is to please my clients and build relationships. Because if I put you in a rental, I'm working with you to get your stuff together. So when that lease ends in 12 months, we shooting you over to the pre-approval side, and we going to search for houses. And then you're going to tell your cousin and your auntie. And then when you get tired of that house, you're going to call me and you're going to say, hey, I'm ready for a new build. I'm going to say, hey, let's jump on it. Find a good builder and let's get that new build going, And then 5, 7, 8 years down the line, you're going to say, I want to downsize. I'm going to say, hey, let's find you something smaller, right? I build relationships. Like, my clients become my family. Like, that's my goal. So that's what I wanted y'all to know. And again, real estate, it's about a trillion, billion, killion things we can talk about. But that's some of the things I wanted to, because a lot of people think realtors and agents that we don't do nothing and we don't deserve our compensation, or our compensation's too high, or whatever the case may be. But if you only knew what it entailed, you would feel differently, especially when you're a 1099 and you're working for yourself. And you're not guaranteed a transaction. Because again, things happen. Things happen all day long. You can go show people houses all day long, and you get to the closing table and something pop up, and boom, all that work you did, everything you did, all the marketing and everything you did is out the window, and you just lost out, right? I don't think anybody wants to experience that, because it happens. People get to the closing table, hard-headed people that don't listen. They feel, oh, I got approved and we closing on this day, and let me go to the furniture store and give me my new couches. And it's like, dude, no. You get that furniture and them cars and everything else when you sign the papers at the closing table and you walk off with your key. You do not do anything until then. Because do you not know that an underwriter will run your credit the day before closing just to make sure you're still in the same qualifying spot? These are things that I explain to my clients, right? From day one, you educate them. We've been educated. It's our duty, it's our job to educate our clients, so that it can be a very memorable experience. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't talk enough, okay? And again, if anyone has questions in regards to the market, relocation, rental homes, I am always a call away, email away, DM away, a TikTok. I'm just playing. But you can reach me, Comeiko Taylor at judgefight.com. Phone number 619-319-0331. Reach out and I will be there. So on that note, whoever joined in, thank you for joining. I know El Breezy was in here. El Breezy. And anyone else, those who are watching, if you're watching later, thank you for your support. And I wish you guys all a blessed rest of your week. And I don't know what I have for next Tuesday. I don't know. You guys know I just pop up with stuff or whatever. So again, saying that, I am always open to suggestions, topic suggestions. I'm always open to guests on the show. If you want to use my platform to promote your business, talk about your business, whatever the case may be, let's do it. So on that note, guys, I'm going to get out of here, and you have a blessed night and a blessed rest of your week. Bye.